Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining. Welcome. We'll start in a couple of minutes, but while we wait for the last attendees to join, I have a couple of announcements. I wanted to start off by really thanking you for joining us from me and from the entire Photomyne team. I hope everyone's doing okay. I know the times are challenging and strange, but I'm really excited to present a great way to connect to your past. So now I'll go with a couple of announcements before we jump in. First, I wanted to let you know that the webinar will be very detailed and we'll go through all of the different functions of Photomyne. So I encourage you to grab a few photos, have them with you so that you can actually try all of the functions with me as I explain them. I also wanted to let you know that after the webinar, we'll send a recording so you can replay at your own pace and check out the different things that were specifically interesting to you. That email will also include a personalized special offer for the people that attended the webinar. So that's already a great treat. I also wanted to thank everyone who sent questions in advance. It really helps prepare so that we could know exactly what you guys are interested in learning. The questions that I received in advance are all addressed in the presentation today. But if you have any questions along the way, I encourage you to ask in our chat. We have a bunch of Photomyne support members from their homes that will be happy to answer your questions as I go along. So you can see on the Zoom screen with the 3-dot icon, if you click the chat, there you can chat with us, ask some questions as I go through the presentation. You'll get some answers from our team throughout. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session so I can go over any repeated questions or any questions that weren't answered. I also wanted to say if at any point you get disconnected or something happens with the internet, just re-click the link to join us again. We'll be here. And if you get disconnected, that's no problem, and come right back. That's it for my announcements. I hope that our latecomers have arrived. And while we're all practicing social distancing, now is our time to keep our sanity and take advantage of finally having time to connect to our past. So let's get started. First, I want to go through what we'll discuss today. I'll begin by talking about what Photomyne is, what we offer, what problem we solve. Then I'll go into a very quick introduction of two of our newest apps that allow you to scan slides and negatives. This webinar is focused on Photomyne, the photo scanner, so we won't go through all of those features. But if it's interesting to you, please let me know after this webinar, and we will be happy to have webinars for those apps as well. After I give you a quick video peek into those apps, we'll go into Photomyne, and I'll give you a step-by-step tutorial of everything you can do with the photo scanner app. After we go through the app, we'll go to the computer, and I'll teach you how to master your photo account with our online portal. And we'll finish up with a question and answer session. So let's get started. Here you see the apps and services offered by Photomyne. So a little bit of background, Photomyne started about 5 years ago with the goal to help everyone save their precious memories in an easy, affordable, and fun way. So we knew that there were photos in shoeboxes and in attics that were collecting dust, and our goal was to really bring life back to those photos. And it began with Photomyne, began with the option to allow you to scan multiple photos. But then it developed further, and we wanted to give tools to digitize and bring life back to all types of memories that we might have. So you see here we have our Colorize app, which colorizes black and white photos. And then we have our app that deals with slides, Slidebox, which will soon be called Slide Scanner. And this app allows you to scan those little slides that we can hardly see. And next, we have Filmbox, which is our app that allows you to scan negatives. We had, for years, people were telling us to save those negatives and to, at some point, we'll be able to do something with them. So here we are with a solution. And those of you that saved your negatives, now's the time to see them in a real live account. And finally, we have the option to digitize videos. So if you have those old VHS or any different type of video that we likely can't play anymore, so you can send those over to us, and we will be able to digitize those for you and add them to your account. So Photomyne, which started as a mobile application simply for scanning the photos, is now a home for all of your old precious memories. And the goal is to really not just digitize them, but to bring them back to life, to share them, to talk about them, and to have all these precious memories available for future generations. Next, I want to show you a little bit of our scanners for slides and negatives. Here you see, with those small slides that we used to be able to easily see, you can open up your computer to our Photomyne backlight website, which provides the perfect backlight for scanning slides. Then you hold up your slide and you tap and hold. And with one quick tap, you're able to see your slide become an image that you can share and view and talk about. And it's very exciting to be able to talk about these slides again. Next, we have the Filmbox app. This app allows you to scan your negatives. So with this also, you would have your backlight open. And for those that have trouble with managing two hands, we also have voice command. So here we see our user is tapping and holding, but you also have the option to say go, and the photo will scan for you, and the negative magically becomes a photo. And here it is. You can swipe through the photos and see the different digitized negatives. And they're beautifully visible and back to life. Now that we've done that, I'd like to jump into Photomyne. And to do that, I will switch to a screen of my phone. If you just give me 1 second. And here we are. You see on my phone, this is where I have my Photomyne mobile suite in an organized folder. And here I'm going to click on Photomyne. And we begin. You see here, this is the main page of Photomyne. Here I have my albums that I've scanned already. Here you can see the album titled Childhood with a cover photo that I chose, labeled the year 1970, and this album has 45 photos. Here you see all of the albums that you scan. And at the bottom, you also see the option to add your digitized videos. If you use that service and you have your videos digitized, you'll be able to view them. Currently, it's only available on the online account, but soon it will also be available on the computer, on the phone. And the last thing on this page that's very important is up here, and it's the option to select and search photos. So in a little bit, we'll go into each page and see what we can do there. But this is important to see that this feature exists so that we can search all of our photos for a specific person, a specific event, a specific place, anything like that. Okay, now that we understand the main page, I'd like to start scanning. So to do that, I'll click New Album, which will open up my camera page and allow me to begin scanning my photos. So here you see I have my photos spread out on my table. I'm going to tap and hold, and the photos will automatically be cropped and restored. Just like that. With one tap, I was able to scan and crop 2 photos. I can also continue and scan up to 6 photos at a time. Here we see the automatic rotation. The app will automatically adjust any strange orientation or filters or anything like that. Once I'm done with my scanning, I can click Done and go to the album page. These are the 5 photos that I just scanned with you guys now. And now I want to go through the different things that I can do on the album page. So I'll start up here at the top corner with my options. I'll click there, and here I see different options that I have. My first option is to edit the album details. I'll click there, and I get the page called Album Details, where I'm able to add all of the different details that will apply to the entire album. So here you see we have the option to add a title, a date, a location, people's names, or a voice recording for the entire album. What's beautiful about this is that we're able to record different people that may be featured in the album, and that will forever be associated with the album. And the different stories can actually be seen as well as heard and shared with others. So we're really excited about that feature. And this is the place to do all of the different details to your album. And now I can click the check mark to leave this page. And I'll go back to options to see what else I can do. Here I see the option to change my album cover. As I mentioned earlier, on the main screen, each album is represented by a cover photo, and that's customizable. So you can click there to choose from the photos of the album which photo will be the cover album. Next, I have the option to edit the original scan shots. So I'm going to click here. And what's cool about this is it shows me the original shot that I took, and it tells me what the app understood as the crop of the photo. So if I click here, I can go into the specific shot and I'm able to manually adjust any of the automatic cropping that the app understood. These croppings are pretty good, so I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'll click X to go back. Once I review my scans, I can click X to go back to the album page. The last thing in options, I'll click one more time to show you, is the option to delete the album. So with one click, you're able to delete the album if you so choose. To get out of this screen at any point, I can just tap outside of the screen and I return to the album page. Next, I want to go through the buttons at the bottom and show you the different things I can do with the album. First, I'll click Manage. And when I click Manage, I see that I'm being told to select photos to continue. I can either select all of the photos at once, or I can select individual photos one at a time to do different actions with them. Now let's go to the bottom and see what actions I'm allowed to do. Here we have the option to edit the details of the photos that I selected. So I'm going to click Edit. We saw a similar page earlier. This is similar to the album details, but what's happening here is that the details are associated with the specific photos that I chose. So it's not necessarily for the whole album. With this, I'm able to apply certain descriptions to a bunch of photos at one time. Once I do that, I can click the check mark to return to my options. Here I see the option to move photos. Moving photos allows me to move photos between albums. So if I have other albums, I can select Move and move those photos that I've selected to the album of my choice. Next, I have the option to reorder photos. So here I've selected these photos. I'm going to select Reorder. And I'm going to move these photos to the end. And just like that, we're able to move the photos. Once I make a change, I'll click Save at the bottom of the screen. My change has been saved, and I'm back to my main screen. I'm going to click on Manage again, and I'm going to select some photos. The final action that we didn't go over is, again, deleting. So as opposed to the button that I showed earlier where you were able to delete the entire album, here you're able to delete the selected photos. I'm going to go to the X, and let's see what else we can do on the album page. Let's click on the share icon. Here we go. And here I'm prompted again. Select photos to continue. I can either select all of the photos or select a few photos. So now I'm going to select my first 2 photos and see what options I'm given. Here I have the option to save. In Photomyne, what saving is saving to your computer or to your PC. So I'm going to click Save and show you those options. Every time I want to save, the app will ask me, do you want to save to the camera roll, or are you interested in sending a zipped folder to your PC? Now I can close this option. I also have the option to email. I can select a certain amount of photos and email those photos, which becomes a link that I can send to others. And if I select another photo, that photo will also be added. Additionally, I can print the photos. If I've selected photos and my phone is connected to my printer, I'm able to print those photos. Finally, we have 2 amazing features that allow you to receive an automatically generated beautiful either collage or a slideshow of the photos you selected. I encourage you guys to check that out. It's a beautiful feature that very easily creates excellent gifts or memories that you can share with others. And finally, you have the option to share through any other app that you may have on your phone. What that does is it opens up the option to share those photos to apps that you have that are able to absorb photos. And that's it for our share. Now let's close that. The last icon on the album page that I wanted to share with you guys was the add. So you saw earlier we were able to scan photos and open that camera screen by clicking add new album. So what this button does is it also opens the camera screen, but it adds photos to an existing album. Okay, now that we know how to do everything on the album page, I'd like to go into a specific photo, one individual photo, and see what type of editing options I have there. So here I'm going to click on this photo and check out all the different options we have. So we'll start at the bottom corner at the three dot icon and see our options. First, we can edit photo details. So I'm going to click there. At this point, I hope this page is familiar. We've seen this page in two different ways. We saw the option to add details to our albums. We saw the option to add details to multiple photos. And similarly now, we're seeing the option to add all these details to one specific photo. Again, we can add a description, a date, a location, or people's names. Now I'm going to click the check mark to leave this screen and go back to our three dot icon. Next, I have the option to save this photo. Again, saving this photo is for an individual photo and can also be saved to the computer or to your camera roll. Next, we have amazing artificial intelligence technology that will colorize your black and white photo. So here I want to see what this photo would look like colorized. So I'm going to click colorize black and white photo and colorize the photo. This process can take up to 30 seconds. It's worth the magic. And here we go, a beautifully colorized photo. What's cool about this is that it's nice to imagine what, the black and white photos that we're familiar with, how we can imagine them differently in a more lively, vivid way. That's great. Next, we're going to go to the three dot icon again. Here we have the option to tag people. So if I click there, what this does is tag specific faces with a person's name. So as we saw earlier in the edit photo details page, you were able to add different people to the photo itself. And here you're actually able to associate the face with the name. This is a feature that once you click this and add the people, you're able to save it and have that person's face with the name constantly. You can click check to save the changes. And we're back to our main page. Here we'll click the three dot icon one more time. And here we have two options that we're familiar with as well. We can either edit the original scans or delete the photo. Now again, I'm going to click on the space above the menu to get out of this menu. Here we have the option to filter. So if I click here, this will apply different filters to the photos. So the app will automatically apply the restore filter, but it's also really cool to use your imagination and preferences and use a filter that really elicits some sort of emotional response from you or from others. So we love our filters and the option to use them. Check them out if you're interested. And we can go back here. Okay, here we have a couple of other icons that, again, should be familiar. Here we have the option to send the photos, to share them out. And here we have the option to crop. So here I'm going to click to show you. Previously, when we saw the option to change the cropping, it was related to the whole shot. And now when we're on a single page, we're able to actually deal with one photo and change the cropping if we want. If there are any changes to make, you can do so and make a check. I'm very satisfied with the cropping here, so I'm going to go back with an X. Great. The last icon here is the rotate icon. And as you saw earlier, the app will automatically rotate photos. It will detect faces or objects and understand what the correct orientation for the photo should be. So once you do that, once you have the automatic rotation, you likely won't need to use this button, but in case you do, here it is. Great. Now that we're experts at scanning and editing our photos and albums, I want to show you some other neat tools in the app. So I'm going to go back here and back again. And I'm going to click on this 3-bar icon. Here I see the Photomyne app menu. If I click on the top button to view my profile, the profile page opens. This is a really important page. It shows you your account information. If you have an account and you're logging in multiple devices, it's important to always first make sure that you're logged into your account so that any changes that you make will be associated with your account and will carry on to other devices. So here I see I'm logged in. It shows me the different things that are included in my subscription. I also am able to see when my subscription expires. And if I scroll to the bottom, I'm able to see settings, my details, and a summary of the photos that I scanned. If I ever have any problems remembering my password or login, I can go to your details to check all that information. Great. That completes our overview of the app and its functions. I have faith that you're experts now and can easily scan your photo collection. If not, there's always our customer support. Here, let me show you. I'll click the X here and back to our menu. Here you see our help and support section. If you click there, you'll see the option to chat with us or to send us an email. We have an amazing support team that's very excited to be a part of your memory saving journey. So please feel free to be in touch with us. Now that we're good in the app, I would like to move to my computer so that I can teach you to be experts in the computer managing of your account as well. So if you just bear with me one moment, I'll switch my screen again. And here we are. Okay. So in order to access your account on the computer, you would open your browser on the computer. We recommend Google Chrome. And you see you can type in photomyne.com and you'll get to our website. This is our homepage, our regular website on the computer. But at the top corner, you see the option to log in. If you click here, you'll be prompted to log in. I've already logged in, so I'm going to go to my account over here. And here you see the main page once you log in. There are a couple of different things that I'd like to show you here. As I mentioned earlier, once you digitize your videos, we're able to add them to your account so that they appear with all of your photos that you scanned. So here we have the videos that I had digitized already associated with my account. Next, we see a couple of different options already on the main screen. First, I see the option to create a new album. What that does is it makes a new album in my account, and it allows me to import photos that might be on my computer already. So this is for photos that aren't, that they don't have to be digitized. You've already digitized them, they're on your computer. You can import them so that they're also associated with all of the photos that you scanned. Additionally, you can click here to sort the albums. With Photomyne, albums are automatically sorted either in the order that you scan them or chronologically if you added years to them. And this option gives you the way to sort it the way that you want. So you can check that out as well. Great, now that we understand this page over here, I'm going to go into a specific album and see the different things that I can do with the album. By the way, you see over here, we have our chat icon. So at any point along your journey, if you have any questions, you can chat with our team and we'll be happy to help you. Now you see here the album that I've titled Childhood. The year is 1970 and this album has 45 photos in it. On the side, I see the menu of all of the different things I can do with the album on my computer. Many of these functions are very similar to the functions that we saw in the app. So I'll likely point to them as opposed to go through them again. But here you see the option to edit album details. Again, any of the editing of the details that you did in the app will appear here. Any change that you make here will also apply to the app. Here you can upload photos. So earlier I explained that you can add photos to the computer in a new album, but this option gives you the ability to upload photos to this album that is already existing. Next, we see that we can share and save photos from the computer as well. Here you can create a link or a zip folder to send to others or to save to your computer. You can also move the photos, just like we demonstrated in the app. You can do that here as well. Currently, the option to reorder the photos on the website is coming soon, but stay tuned and you'll be able to do that as well. Next, you see options to delete photos and albums. So again, you can select specific photos or delete the entire album, and all of those options are here. And what's great about the portal is that you're able to do a lot of editing. You have your big screen. You can do a whole bunch of different things. A lot of people also like to use the portal to show their collection that they worked so hard on with their loved ones. So there you can see with each photo, all of the descriptions that you inputted will be associated with the photo. Lastly, I wanted to let you know that what's amazing about this account is that, as you saw at the very beginning with our solutions for slides and negatives, so once you scan your slides and negatives, you can easily send them to Photomyne so that all of those memories that you digitized are available in one place. Great. That sums up our in-depth tutorial of Photomyne. I hope this webinar showed you how simply you can preserve your memories on your own. We're really, really honored to be a part of this process and hope you guys are now energized to go ahead and scan away. I have a lot of faith in you. I'm sure you can do a great job now that you've gone through each of the functions. I also wanted to remind you that after the webinar, we'll send you an email within 24 hours with the recording, some cool tools, and as promised, a special offering for the attendees. Thank you so much for following along. Here, let's have our ending screen so you have our information. I'm going to move over to our Q&A section. Keep in mind, if you had any questions that weren't answered, or you have more specific questions, we're really here for you. We're happy to be a part of your journey, and please see on the screen our email address so you can reach out at any time. Now I'll move over to Q&A.